Hello viewers, welcome to my lecture 1 and second part B of this lecture number first. As you all know that uh, we have started the online lecture series on GATE 2021 for the preparation of the interested students. I am taking section 2 Applied Mechanics and Design and the module is Engineering Mechanics. My short profile, as you already have seen in my first video lecture. Myself, Professor Hemant Sharma, working in Department of Mechanical Engineering at Prestige Institute of Engineering Management and Research, Indore. These are my qualifications. As you all know, that in first lecture we have discussed about various topics which are covered as per the syllabus of GATE 2021. This is my lecture first, part B, in which I will be covering various topics like system of forces, fundamental principles of mechanics, Lami's theorem, Varignon's principle, etc. So, students, starting with the topic system of forces. When two or more forces act on a body, they are called to form a system of forces. The system of forces may be of various types like coplanar forces, concurrent forces, collinear forces, coplanar concurrent forces, coplanar non-concurrent forces, non-coplanar concurrent forces, non-coplanar non-concurrent forces, like parallel forces, unlike parallel forces, and special forces. We will be discussing all these types of system of forces one by one in detail. For example, the first one is coplanar forces. What is coplanar forces? Various forces acting in one plane are known as coplanar forces. Forces whose line of action lies on the same plane are known as coplanar forces. Concurrent forces. The forces which meets at one point are known as concurrent forces, as you can see in the diagram. Collinear forces, various forces. For example, you can see in the figure F1, F2, F3, there are three forces which are acting in one line that are known as collinear forces. Collinear forces not necessarily in same direction, they may be in opposite direction also, but must be in the same line of action. Non-coplanar concurrent forces means the various forces are though concurrent, that is they are passing through one point, but here they are non-coplanar, which means that they are not all forces are not acting in one single plane, as you can see in the diagram. It is very clear in the given diagram. Coplanar non-concurrent forces. This is another system of forces. The forces whose line of action lie on the same plane, but they do not meet at one point are known as coplanar non-concurrent forces. As you can see in the figure, that these four forces are coplanar but non-concurrent forces because they are all are acting in one plane, but they all are not originating from one point. Therefore, they are known as non-concurrent forces. You can see the example of two forces which are coplanar but non-concurrent, and they are parallel also because their line of action do not meet. The next system of forces is non-coplanar, non-concurrent forces. You can see the side of the cubes represents different planes in which different forces are acting. So these forces are non-coplanar because the plane of action is different, and as well as non-concurrent forces because all forces do not meet at one point. The next system is like parallel forces. The forces whose line of action are parallel to each other and all of them act in the same direction, as you can see in the figure. The forces may or may not be in the same plane. Unlike parallel forces, this is another system in which the forces whose line of actions are parallel to each other, but all of them do not act in the same direction. You can see that these forces are parallel, though parallel, but not like, means they are unlike. That means that the direction is opposite to each other. And the last category of the system of forces is special forces. This system of forces consists of all the forces which are acting in different directions, but maybe they are concurrent, but they are in different directions, that is in the space. Forces acting in the space are known as special forces, and there is one sub case of this category, that forces acting in space but meeting at one point are known as special concurrent forces. Now, viewers, we will be switching on to the next topic of my today's lecture, that is fundamental principle of mechanics. There are basically four fundamental principles of mechanics, which you should all know. In the next lecture, we will be moving towards the important laws of the mechanics, which will be very useful before starting the numerical portion. That will be my discussed in my lecture number 2nd. So there are four principles, fundamental principles of mechanics, which are principles of transmissibility. Second is principle of superposition. Third is law of gravitation, and fourth is law of parallelogram of forces. So discussing the first principle, the principle of transmissibility, you can see in figure that the two forces can be considered equivalent if we concern only about the external resultant effects on rigid body. You can see that the principle of transmissibility is very useful if we have to, as vector, force is a vector quantity. Therefore, we can extend the line of action of the force of either forward or backward whenever required. We can slide the forces along its line of action. Force can be considered as sliding vector. We can convert the push into pull, though the value of the that is magnitude of the force will not change, but the line of action will be transmitted forward or backward. A force may be applied at any point on its given line of action without altering the resultant effect external to the rigid body on which it acts. These are the fundamental rules. The second is the principle of superposition, which states that if two equal and opposite collinear forces are added or removed from the system of forces, there will be no change in the system and position of the body. For example, in x direction, a force of 10 Newton is acting, and if in x direction we have to add another force 5 Newton in x direction, positive x direction, then we have to add a force 5 Newton of force in positive x direction, and to compensate it, we will also add a 5 Newton of force in opposite direction, that is negative x direction. Now the system of forces comprises of positive x direction already 10 Newton force plus 5, which will give 50 Newtons if required, and in opposite direction, that is in negative x direction, according to the principle of superposition, we have added a 5 Newton of force. These principles are very important whenever required for solving various problems in engineering mechanics. So moving forward towards the third law, which states that which is the law of gravitation. As we all know, we have studied this law in physics in some classes, smaller classes of school. The law of gravitation states that if there are two masses, that is the one mass is capital M, big mass, and the small mass is small m, and the distance between the center, that is center to center distance between both the masses is small r, and there is a force exerted between both the masses as per the statement of the law of gravitation, and which can be calculated by the formula F, the force of attraction between both the masses. F is equal to G into M, capital M into small m upon R square. The formula, the derivation part, we are not concerned with that, but also I will state that the derivation comes from the basic rules that force is directly proportional to the product of masses, and force is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. And when the directly proportional sign is open, then the constant gravitation constant is added to inserted in the formula, and the value of G will be equal to 6.673 into 10 raised to power minus 11 meter cube per kg second square. This is the universal constant of gravitation, which will not vary in whole of the universe. And further, when we applied this force of attraction between two masses and the mass, as we also know that the gravity on earth is equal to mass into g, m into g, that will be equal to the weight, and weight is nothing, weight is also equal to the force of gravity which the earth is attracting any mass towards itself or any planet, say. So equating both the equations, that is f and w, because these both the equations are one and the same thing, but the representation is different, their formula is different, but the main magnitude will be same. And equating both the equations, we get g, the value of g is equal to g, capital G into capital M upon capital R square, or say small r square, is equal to, and the value comes out to be 9.81 meter per second square. Okay, students, the last principle is the law of parallelogram forces, or say parallelogram law of forces. If two forces acting simultaneously on a particle be represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, their resultant may be represented in magnitude and direction by the diagonal of the parallelogram, which passes through the point of intersection. You can see in the figure that uh, one force may be represented as P and other force may be represented Q, and this both the forces, since the force is a vector quantity, then both the forces can be represented in by a straight line, and they can be, if they are taken as the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram making an angle of theta, then there will be a resultant which will be acting somewhere between P and Q, and this will be the resultant will be always acting towards the diagonal part, that is the bigger diagonal, which can be, you can see here in the figure that this is the force P, this is force Q, and this is the diagonal of the parallelogram, and the diagonal will represent the resultant force between P and Q. The analytical part, we are seeing here that the resultant, the formula for the result, finding the resultant of two forces can be under root of capital P square plus capital Q square plus 2P into Q into cos theta, and alpha is the angle made by the force resultant with one of the forces, that is with force P. The value of alpha will be tan inverse of Q sin theta upon P plus Q cos theta. Okay, moving forward toward the next theorem, that is Lami's theorem. We will be discussing the Lami's theorem, and we will be seeing all the part which I have discussed in this lecture. We will be looking after the numerical part in my next lectures. So viewers, please, I request you to please subscribe my channel if you want to see my more videos and more lectures. So what is the Lami's theorem? The statement is, if a system of three forces is an equilibrium, then each force of the system is proportional to sine of the angle between the other two forces, and constant of proportionality is the same for all the forces. Thus, with reference to the figure given below, we have, so looking at the figure, there are three forces. Let's say the forces will be A, B, and C, and the angles are alpha, beta, and gamma. So the alpha is the angle between B and C, which can be represented as the angle opposite to force A. So here, according to the Lami's theorem, the forces are in proportional to the sine of the angle opposite angle. That is, A upon sine alpha is equal to B upon sine beta is equal to C upon sine gamma. So this is my now last part of the lecture, that is Varignon's principle. Varignon's theorem states that the moment of the resultant of a number of forces about any point is equal to the algebraic sum of the moments of all the forces of the system about the same point. In my further lectures, I will be discussing in detail the Varignon principle, but in this particular lecture, I can make you clear that this Varignon principle is very important to find the position of the resultant, because in previous formulas we can find the resultant, magnitude of the resultant, and as well as direction of the resultant, but the position of the resultant cannot be found. So for finding the position of the resultant with reference to any point in the plane, we will use the Varignon's principle. This principle may also be known as the principle of moment. So thank you students, thank you viewers for my today's lecture. We will meet you. I will meet you soon in my next lecture. So please and please subscribe my channel. Thank you.